All right, so let's start this broadcast with a big story that we are tracking on WION at this hour. An Israeli ministry has now drafted a wartime proposal to transfer the Gaza Strip's 2.3 million people onto Egypt's Sinai desert. And this has drawn condemnation from the Palestinians amidst the worsening tensions with Cairo. Now, many people are saying that this plan is tantamount to ethnic cleansing. Now, the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's office has tried to play down this report that's been compiled by the Intelligence Ministry as a hypothetical exercise, a concept paper, but its conclusion has deepened the long-standing Egyptian fear that what Israel is at this moment trying to in fact accomplish is to expel the 2.3 million Palestinian civilians in the Gaza Strip into the Egyptian Sinai desert. That is what is reportedly being attempted with this war. For the Palestinians, the document revives memories of their greatest trauma. Now remember, hundreds of thousands of the Palestinians were expelled after Israeli Zionist militia went on a rampage, killing thousands of Palestinians back in 1947-48. which resulted in the creation of Israel in 1948. A spokesperson for the Palestinian president has said, and I quote, "We are against the transfer to any place in any form, and we consider this to be a red line that we will not allow to be crossed." The presidential spokesperson has further added as to what happened in 1948 will not be allowed to happen again. So far, over 8,000 Palestinians have been bombed out of their existence. A vast majority of them are in fact just civilians. Many of them, almost 40%, are said to be children who've got nothing to do with any politics, who perhaps are not even aware that they are Palestinians, which is why they're being inflicted this kind of damage. The document in question here is dated the 13th of October, 6 days after Hamas fighters in fact carried out their biggest incursion into Israel and took nearly about 200 people hostage. In its report, the Intelligence Ministry, a junior ministry that conducts research but does not set policy, had offered alternatives to effect a significant change in the civilian reality in the Gaza Strip. Now, Palestinians say that this is clearly another plan of the Israelis at a land grab by expelling the Palestinian population from the Gaza Strip. The document, remember, proposes to move Gaza's civilian population to tent cities in the Sinai desert and then building some kind of permanent structures for them and also some kind of an undefined humanitarian corridor. A security zone would be established inside of Israel to block the displaced Palestinians from again entering into the Gaza Strip. The report does not say as to what would become of Gaza once it's completely depopulated. Not only is this war crime, this is tantamount to ethnic cleansing. Egypt has made clear throughout this latest war that it does not want to take in a wave of Palestinian refugees. Egypt has long feared that Israel actually wants to completely occupy the Gaza Strip and expel the Palestinian people from its territory, as happened in 1948. The vast majority of Gaza's population are the descendants of Palestinian refugees who, remember, have already been displaced, who already have been uprooted from their ancestral homelands, the homelands on which Israel has now gone on to build its nation. And also what is important to highlight at this point of time is that Israel's final boundaries are not defined. So Israel, the Palestinians accuse, has been attempting a land grab at every possible opportunity. The Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has said that a mass influx of refugees from Gaza would eliminate the Palestinian nationalist cause. He's also said that it would risk bringing militants into the Sinai desert, from where they might try and launch attacks into Israel. Such a scenario would endanger the country's 1979 peace treaty. The Egyptian president has also proposed that Israel instead should house the Palestinians in its Negev desert, which neighbors the Gaza Strip, until it ends its military operations. Now, Egypt would not necessarily be the Palestinian refugees' last stop. The document speaks about Egypt, Turkey, Qatar, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. supporting the plan either financially or by taking in the uprooted residents of Gaza as refugees and in the long term as citizens. The document further adds that Canada's lenient immigration practice also makes it a potential resettlement target. The document has acknowledged the proposal is liable to be complicated in terms of international legitimacy. An Israeli official who is familiar with the document has said that it is not binding and that there is no substantive discussion of it with security officials. But the fact of the matter is, what Israel is trying to do looks very clearly committed to depopulating the Gaza Strip. It has killed more than 8,000 innocent Palestinians, and it continues with its onslaught on the Palestinian civilians. The Netanyahu's office has called this a concept paper, the likes of which are prepared at all levels of the government and its security agencies. Now, the Prime Minister's office has stated that the issue of the day after has not been discussed in any official forum in Israel, which is focused at this moment on destroying the governing and military capabilities of Hamas. But many people, in fact, say that what Israel here is attempting to do is to expel the Palestinians altogether from the Gaza Strip. It started off by the Israelis giving an ultimatum that the Palestinians should flee from northern Gaza into southern Gaza, even though Israel continued to bomb southern Gaza with just as much ferocity. And this concept paper that has now come to light highlights Israel's plans of depopulating the Gaza Strip and taking over the Gazan lands. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.